Okay, I'll do a little quick one here for you. Quickie on Wednesday, October 26th, 2016. I was just reading an email I got from Downsize DC, an organization I belong to and support in principle. They've got a few things. Well, they got most of it right, but they don't really do much, in my opinion. They give me the opportunity to write letters to my senators and complain about things and tell them stuff and tell them to don't vote for that bill because it's bad and do vote for this bill because it's good and so forth and call them. Well, it gives me an opportunity to say nasty things to them like, stop being a fucking dick. And, repeal the bad laws like Title 18, for example, that makes felons of everybody in the country. Anyway, it's called Downsize DC. And they have part of their organization is called something like non-aggression thing. Whatever. So anyway, I was just reading about this, and it's talking about Veterans Day as opposed to Armistice Day. Now, November 11th is coming up, and it's Veterans Day. It used to be called Armistice Day, and it was a day that remembered the moment when the First World War ended on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. Armistice Day was a valuable holiday. It constantly reminded people of the biggest mistake that politicians ever made. I'm reading from the article here. A world war fought over absolutely nothing, it says. Alas, I'm reading further, so this is like quote, I'm quoting. Alas, the politicians could not abide such a reminder of their own folly, and so Armistice Day was eventually changed to something the politicians could exploit, Veterans Day. Whereas Armistice Day highlighted the dangers of militarism and interventionism, Veterans Day promoted these schemes. Yes, the holiday includes appreciation for soldiers past and present, but it also used by politicians to tell a big lie. For example, I'm still reading. Politicians exploit Veterans Day, and Memorial Day too for that matter, to claim that they used our soldiers to defend freedom. But is that true? We're going to stress test this claim between now and November 11th. We'll review our wars and interventions one by one and ask the following questions. 1. Was the war necessary to defend America? I think no is always the answer on that one. Did the politicians use our veterans to defend freedom or harm freedom? Well, harm freedom because a lot of dead people are not free. They're fucking dead, including Americans. And unfortunately, foreigners do, murdered by American soldiers. Yeah, if you invade a foreign country and drop bombs on people and blow them to smithereens, like women, children, like they did in Vietnam, like they did in lots of other places, and like they did in Japan with the nukes, boom, boom, blown to smithereens, hundreds of thousands of people. Did the war make things better or worse? I'm saying worse because dead people, and the lie is perpetuated. We believe the evidence, I'm reading again, we believe the evidence is overwhelming that the politicians' wars have made America less safe. Oh, there is no question there. Harmed freedom, you betcha, you know that for a fact, considering Iraq, Afghanistan, 9/11, bullshit. Harmed freedom, yes. Freedom, what freedom? You think of freedom in America? Try something. Try talking. Try expressing yourself. Try talking to a teenager, by the way. Yep, talking to a teenager is a felony. Yeah, I know. It depends on what you're talking about, right? Maybe not. They might suggest that you're talking to a teenage girl for what reason? I don't know, to seduce her? As if that's a crime. How about to solicit a teenager, which they call a minor, and the other legal term now is called child, which of course is not the definition of the word, but legal terms don't have to be defined like they are in the dictionary. And of course, Americans are so fucking stupid, they start using words incorrectly because they heard the freaking government say it. Because they don't understand the difference between a word and a legal term. Particularly if the legal term is the wrong word. So everybody knows a child is under 12, prepubescent, and if you're over 12 and a pubescent person or an adolescent, that's what they're called. Adolescents. They're not children. Biologically, and certainly shouldn't be legally. But, I don't make the laws. I just bitch about them because they're fucking stupid and evil and criminal and insane and so forth. Made the world worse on balance. Yep. Injured and destroyed veterans for little benefit. You betcha. But if you're able to judge for yourself as we present the evidence, we do this because we want to prevent the loss of many young lives in useless wars. A noble cause. The trouble is, they should do a little bit more. This organization, Downsize DC, they should actually, stage some protests and get some people out to, go to Washington and sit in the senator's office and say, listen here, fucker, stop doing this criminal treasonous stuff or we're going to, throw you out of office. Physically. Now. We got the rope. You understand? So, you're not going to do that anymore, butthead. I can think of a couple senators we should just, like West Virginia, where all West Virginians, for decent, civilized, intelligent, halfway intelligent human beings anyway, they should just go to Washington and find a senator like Senator Jay Rockefeller and say, hey, buddy, you're a fucking traitor and you're a criminal and you've committed crimes against humanity and we're going to take you out in the front yard here and hang you on a tree, you fucking piece of shit. That's what I think should be done. Yeah. It's a little violent, but you know what? It's called justice and protecting freedom. Like any soldier that goes over to some foreign country and murders those innocent men, women, and children and blows them to smithereens and destroys their country. Yeah, I think it's more noble to actually get the politicians who are the real criminals and terrorists in this country, in this world, and, set them straight. Or else, stretch their neck. By the way, I'm serious about that. All right. I think you get the gist of it. So I'm not going to go any further with this particular thing from Downsizer. Oh, and the co-creator of the Zero Aggression Project. ZAP. ZAP. That's a creation of a Downsize DC organization, which I belong to, and I think probably every American probably should. If they're really patriotic, you really give a shit about freedom. Alright, so I'm gonna, it looks like I can share this on Facebook and Google Plus and Twitter and so forth, so I'm gonna do that. And in the meantime, this is just a short episode. Just wanted to let you have a heads up on that one, and that's all. I'm gonna post this and move on. Talk to you later. Oh, say something. You see a traitor in government, like Hillary Clinton, say something. Post something nasty about her. Really. just get a bunch of Americans together and say, listen here, people, we're not putting up with this shit. This fucking cunt has got to go. I don't mean like go to the White House. I mean go to the insane asylum or go to The Hague where she can be, hung like a tree ornament. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I mean it. Really. That's what should happen. One or the other. Today. Not today. I'm not talking about the other candidate. I'm not talking about the other people that have already committed crimes like George W. Bush, who deserves to be dead. Crimes against humanity kind of bastard that he is. And his gang, Rumsfeld and Cheney and all those other pieces of fucking human garbage. Anyway, enough said. You got the message. Moving on now. I got some other things to do. Right? Yeah, I'm looking for stuff to talk about, stuff to tell you about, stuff that you might not know, might not hear about, passing along to you for the good of freaking humanity. For the greater good, as they say. All right? Talk to you later. Carry on.